Hold on, I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this video like before I even talk.
So you don't know Ghosty. Well, let me tell you just a little what's going on, Call of Duty fans. If you were one of many on the timeline today, you probably saw OpTic's most recent pickup and might be asking yourself, well, who the hell is this guy? So you don't know Ghosty. Well, let me tell you just a little bit about one of the hardest working, trash-talking, explosive players in the Call of Duty scene. Studying pre-law at University of Illinois, Ghosty has making massive waves in the Call of Duty scene since he's turned 18. He even represented his college during Cold War, where they placed top 6 at the end of the year. People have had their eyes on Ghosty and what he brings to the table as a flex AR, but he really sprouted his wings and his career took off through the Vanguard years. In the first season of the Elite, Ghosty placed top 3 with whatever it takes playing with Brack, Zinx, and Proto. He then got picked up by Boston Breach Academy, where he placed top 6 at the Toronto Open, and then 4th at the Boston Open, beating Clayster's team at both events. Into the current year, Ghosty has started to perfect his craft as a general slayer, a methodical sniper in search and destroy, and an all-around fantastic teammate. Albeit dropped after Raleigh by Ironblood Gaming after placing top 12 at that Open, Ghosty was left without a team. He joined forces with Fellow, Two Real, and Yuli to create T-Fel Enterprises. They started their journey by getting top 6 in Cup number 3, but put the NA Challenger scene on notice in the inaugural Elite season by getting 2nd. Within that Elite, Ghosty was the #1 statistical player, with an overall KD of 1.29 and a 62.7% true engagement success rate, while dropping the most damage for his team along the way.
I don't even give a fuck about any of this, I'm not even gonna lie.
TPS is 63% of the time, more or less, that Ghosty was getting into an engagement. He's searching second play, you guess, to see whether it's his sniper in search and destroy or Dan, and good luck in the league.
I just have to like make this be known. I have to like make this clear that what I'm about to say has nothing to do with skill. I don't think it's a skill thing. I just think they just got the wrong player entirely. If you look at this team, Shotzi, Hook, Dashy, you think of 3 really good skilled players. I feel like they needed a rock. And also, not just that, before I elaborate on that, I feel like oDanGhosty for Illy, I feel is super disrespectful for Illy. Like, super disrespectful. Because if you think about what Illy brings to the team, and not a Slayer, he's the type of guy that'll give you an 0.9, but everything else he brings makes like the recipe for like a winning team, you know? Like he's the type of guy that does all the correct things, like the strategist, like that type of person. Like he brings like mental toughness to the team. And granted, in this last LAN, granted, there's only one listen in, but like the one listen in I listened to on Hydro, where he literally didn't say anything except for like how he died, who he died to, and where they were. Didn't really say anything else. Was just quiet. I'm not sure if like the comps change and they're more like Hook, Shotzi, Dashy heavy, and he's just like whatever. If it's just like the one map, but like either way, I feel like oDanGhosty for Illy may. I just, there's so many, like, granted, you're getting more of a Slayer, but, like, I feel like they need, like, a mental rock in this team. Granted, all these players are great Call of Duty minds, not saying that they're not great, like, they need, like, almost like a leader. And, like, I hate having to say that, but I feel like every team needs, like, that person. So if we go back to, like, Atlanta phase in Cold War, they had RCDs, and now like I'm hearing just this year that RCD isn't really much of a leader, never was, but I feel like he was like that like person for phase back then, because you have 3 really good players that quite frankly need a leash. Because if we go back even more to Modern Warfare 2019, that phase roster was stacked. They had Major Maniac, Priesta, Abizi, Simp, Celium, 5 really good players. Like they should have won champs that year. Everything says they should have won champs that year. They're literally, skill-wise, just a better team, but, like, sometimes Call of Duty is just more of a mental game. And, like, before I elaborate on that point, I'm making all these points not elaborate on it. So, like, we seen in this last fucking tournament, FaZe is down 5-3 to Rocker. Granted, anyone can make a comeback, whatever. But I feel having a rock like Slasher on that team really upped it from Arcidy's. Like, I feel like if they have Slasher any other year, they could probably get like the exact same results. Slasher's always been a good player, but he's more of a mental tough mind, like a guy that's never gonna get flustered, always knows how to be calm in the situation. Not really an emotional player. He was emotional back then when like he would lose because he just hated losing, but like I think obviously he's even said this. He realized like the spot he's in on phase, grateful to be on there, but he's still going to like try to be like that leader that he is. Like that's what he brings to the team. So like back to like the Modern Warfare 2019 thing, you had 5 good players that I feel should have beat that Empire team, but Empire had Crim and Clay, and they just had a structure. And Hook back then was so fucking good, so confident. It was also like a mentally fucking tough player who was just super smart and knew how to make the right plays back then. I don't know what changed in the past 2 years, but like we have a completely different Hook now. And so taking that to mind, so like that team with 2 vets and like just structure, the ability not to get flustered. That FaZe team got flustered in that 2019 fucking COD Champs final. They got flustered. I was mind blown because I thought they should have won. They're fucking doing good all year. I feel like they should have won, but they didn't. So then they get RCDs. It's Cold War. They dominate Cold War. Granted, that was like the last normal COD I fucking feel like we had, or like somewhat normal COD since BO4 was like. So like Cold War is a normal COD, so we also have to take that into account. But it had a mental rock. They didn't go and get like Major Maniac. Like that's not me throwing shit on Major Maniac either. Like a really good player, but I just don't think he has like the reps yet to like not get flustered and like just not. I just feel like every team needs like not a veteran, but they just need a guy who doesn't get flustered. So anyways, I'm going completely up point. So back to like the oDanGhosty thing. I've heard like shouts of like ASIM. I feel even ASIM for like Hook and keeping Illy. ASIM only started in BO4, but I feel like he's matured so much. He's a calm mind, doesn't get flustered, could bring structure, bring strategy. Like him and Illy, he adds way more to the SMG role right now than Hook's doing. No offense to Hook. I really wanted the best for Hook, but for some reason, he's like such a skillful player who just like lost his brain so far this year. He's just making dumb play after dumb play. I watched him this whole tournament. Like literally did not progress at all in the tournament at all. Like I just watched him make bonehead play after bonehead play, and like especially after like that Fortress control that OpTic should have won, where Shotzi made that mistake, and then also Dashy made the mistake after that. I feel like if they had anybody on their team in that moment, like if they had like a Clay, even like an ASIM in that moment, someone to be like, yo, fucking pump the brakes, like there's 20 seconds left. I just feel like they don't have that. And like I thought that was Illy, and it actually still is Illy, but maybe he just got caught up in the moment too. But there's certain players that do not get caught up in the moment, and I just feel like this Ghosty thing will increase their slang, but I feel like when it gets to like that tough point in the tournament or that tough point in a match, I don't think they're going to be able to turn it around the way that they were. I could be completely wrong, but I just do not like this move at all. OpTic could be playing 40 fucking chess, whatever. I've heard a whole bunch of theories, but I do not like this move at all. I think it's fucking horrible. I'll actually put it like that. I think it's fucking horrible. Not saying anything about the player, like skill-wise, but I think it's a fucking horrible move. I actually think we're going to see them digress in momentum. I hope I'm completely wrong, but I feel them digressing heavily, honestly. You're bringing like a good player, but like we have 3 good players on this team. You guys, like, they need like a rock. They need someone there. Like, we think of like the past teams, like even Formal, like rock. Like back then when he had the Dynasty team, you had 4 rocks on the team. You had 4 people that didn't get flustered. Like all those people, like you could count on someone no matter what, and not skill wise, but mentally wise. every successful roster, every dynasty roster had that. If you look back at any team that's ever won, you could get lucky. You could pull an LAG Major 2 Vanguard. You could pull that out of nowhere. But even they had Slasher. They had him, like, they have that rock on their team. And I don't feel like, not skill-wise, don't get my words twisted. I'm not talking skill-wise. I'm talking mental-wise. They don't have that rock. They need that rock. I actually don't know why they dropped Illy. They've dropped Illy like 5-6 times. Makes zero sense to me. But, I mean, hopefully I'm proved wrong. But, I mean, fuck. I just do not agree with this at all. Like, even Asim would have been a better shout moving who, keeping Illy. Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. And, like, also I was hearing things about Shotzi being like the shot caller. Good in most cases, but there's some cases you just need like a different person, and it's hard to shot call and be an SMG for fucking running around taking routes anyway. So it's like, I don't even know, but we'll see. I had a whole lot more to say about this, but like now that I'm like in the moment, it's like I just forget everything. But do not like this roster change. Do not like it. And like I feel like I have to clarify this. Like, God bless him. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm not talking about skill. I'm not even talking about getting a veteran on the team. I just feel like they don't need a rookie. We've even seen what happened in Vanguard. They don't need a rookie player. They need a they just need a rock. They just need a rock. That's the best way I could put it. And like, if you know, you know. You could basically figure out. You could look around the league. We could look at the other teams, like the Rock on Ultra, Insight, that fucking calm voice. Obviously, doesn't really have a great track record in like certain situations. If you think about like the Rocker comeback and all that stuff, but like he's a solid fucking mentally fucking tough guy. And if you look at every team. Attach, Bans, on Rocker, like all teams have that, but I'm not saying it's like having that mentally tough mind is gonna like stop you from getting come back on, but it's gonna stop you from doing stupid plays. And what OpTic's doing right now is a bunch of stupid plays. That's the one thing stopping them from being like an S tier team, in my opinion. They just make so many stupid plays on the map. They don't need a challenger player. I don't think that's going to help. Like, their slang might get better, but I think that's about it. They'll still beat a lot of teams, but I don't think they're going to win a major. Let's just leave it at that. Like, everyone's trying to win, not just place good. If their goal is to place good, they could place good with Ghosty, but I don't think they're going to win anything, and that's just how it is. Like, I'm surprised. I was shocked that they even got a challengers player, and I know it's the only place to go. There's nowhere else to go. Like, but like I feel like they could have got any player. They could even dip into like another team, even though there's like 4 or 5 teams that are just roster lock and not going to give you anyone. Like, there's still some good players out there, you know. There's still some better experienced players, I feel. But yeah, they don't need another Slayer. They have Slayers on the team. They just need someone to bring it all together. But yeah.